Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and here's another single card that we're going to do. We're going to do some watercoloring, and I'm using this stamp set by Joy Clair, and it's called Hugs and Smiles. And what I loved about it was that upper corner floral segment. It's just a bunch of squiggled lines, and I just thought it just caught my eye. So yes, I had to have the stamp. Not that I need a reason, but had to have it. So I'm going to use my stamp positioner tool, and I apologize everyone, I just recently found out that these stamp positioning tools by Hampton Art have been discontinued. Imagine that. So I'll link you to some other ones that are similar if you're interested in something like that. So okay, back to the video. So I'm using my Versamark ink. I stamped it down in the upper corner. I'm using Canson XL watercolor paper for this. And this is an embossing powder from the Lindsay Stamp Gang called Midnight Sapphire. And it is absolutely gorgeous. I got a new heat gun, and I am in love with the Hero Arts Wagner heat gun. I am just saying. I hardly have to edit that out because that's how quickly it works for me. So you can see I embossed the top and the bottom. I'm going to use the sentiment. It's very simple, smiles. I love the font on this, and I think it just pretty much says it all. So again, this is Canson XL watercolor paper, and I just cut it in quarters. I took one sheet and just cut that in quarters. I'm going to use my Versamark Black Onyx ink, and I'm going to use my clear embossing powder on top of that. So pretty much we've just embossed on this. Now again, the video just does not pick this up. I also did a second panel just using the Versamark ink and my clear embossing powder from Recollections, which is of course I get at Michael's. The camera, I mean, you can see it. You can tell the one on the right is a midnight blue. You can tell the one on the left, of course, is black. So we're just going to have fun with some watercoloring. And what I'm actually going to try to use is this liquid watercolor. It's all pearl. It's metallic. It's just a gorgeous watercolor. For some reason, I saw it while I love Blick art supplies. And I saw this and I was very intrigued. So I'm going to use just this white pearl watercolor. I put a little bit in my dish and I added water to it just to dilute it just a little bit. And I'm just putting my brush into that and I'm going direct to paper. So I'm not putting any clear water down first. I don't need this to run. I don't need it to blend, so to speak, which is what I normally do with watercolors. I'm just taking my brush with the pearlized watercolor onto dry watercolor paper. And I'm just filling in these sections. Now again, I'm using the Midnight Sapphire side with the pearl. I do wish the video would pick this up a little bit better, but when this is dry, it's absolutely gorgeous. It really is. Just to see the sheen, I mean, you can see it in some spots on the camera. But it is really pretty. It's very subtle, but very, very pretty. For the one on the left, when I use the black Versamark embossing powder, I'm going to use my watercolors that I have. It is a QOR set. I absolutely love this set. And then I use the palette from Tim Holtz. I saw that from Kelly, I think her last name's Lavada. She's an awesome Copic colorist. Oh, to have that talent. But I saw her use this for her Daniel Smiths, and I really liked it. While I like the other palettes, I just like this one. It's very portable. I can put a little bit out. It's not getting wasted. I do really like the QRR watercolors. I do have the Mission Golds as well. But I do tend to gravitate to the QORs. So what I'm doing here is I am taking clear water And I am putting this down into the area that I want the watercolor. I am not being specific with this. I am just getting the area wet so that the color can be dropped into it. And if you've seen my previous videos, if I've done this, you know I always say, just drop the color and let the color do the work. You don't have to manipulate it too much. Let them blend. I specifically put the water outside of the scribble lines. I specifically wasn't careful of where I wanted to put this water. I'm looking at colors and I'm just mixing some shades into the empty wells that I have there. And I'm just picking up that color if I think there's a shade value or if it's different. And I'm just dropping it down into the clear water that I have on the paper. I enjoy watching that. As strange as that sounds, I absolutely enjoy watching it. I think it is fascinating to just watch these colors just blend and create their own colors that you didn't mix as well. So again, I'm starting with some lighter colors for the center of the flowers. I'm coming in with some darker shades, and then I'm just going around that. So we have the one side, which is the pearlized watercolor, and then we're going to have this one with the blue shades of watercolors filling in the flowers. So you can see this stamp set is very versatile. I mean, you could really create all kinds of different colored schemes when it comes to this. You could fill up the whole card with this. You could still do the corners that I did and start with your red, go into orange, yellow in the top, and then go green, blue, and purple on the bottom and create your rainbow. So very versatile, but just wanted something simple just to have in my stash of cards. These are really the type of cards that I do send out just to make somebody smile, or if they need a chuckle or a giggle or two. So I'm going to dry them with my heat gun, and I'm going to carefully peel off my tape. Again, this is blue painter's tape that I use. I don't think I said that before. And I always like to either put it on my clothing or I just put it along my skin and pull it off to make it even less tacky than what it already is. And these are our two panels. Now you can kind of see right here the pearl. This is really the only time that you can see that faintly. What I'm doing now, I'm taking a clean piece of paper towel with just a little bit of water, and I'm just rubbing along the top of the embossed area of the Midnight Sapphire. There was just some watercolor that was sitting on top of it, and I didn't want it to dry there. So I just wanted to clean it off a little bit. So these are our two panels. I'm going to use my wonky die, and here's the wonky die. Of course, it's got to make an appearance. For those of you that have seen my videos before, I love the wonky die from My Favorite Things. I'm choosing my card bases, which of course are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card bases. And I just grabbed a couple pieces of foam, fun foam, because that's how I'm going to prop these panels up onto my card bases. So I always cut my fun foam down. I save those scraps for sentiments, for sentiment banners as well. Don't always have to use foam squares. And I'm going to grab my double-sided tape. I get this at Joann's. It's, I believe, Ms. Sparkle and Company. It's a really good double-sided tape. I use that on each side of the fun foam, and I adhere it to the back of the design part, and then I adhere it down onto my card base. And that tape really does a good job of adhering the fun foam to the pieces of paper. I'm going to pull out my iridescent sequins. Again, seeing my videos, I'm a true fan of the iridescent sequins, and this kind of shows why. One of the things that I love about the iridescent sequins is, one, they're clear. 2, they have multiple colors attached to them. They can be pink, they can be light blue, they can be green, they can have a shade of purple to them. But when you apply them to an area of your card, and if there's color to that, they will pick up that color. So they're like little chameleons. where they change their color and they adapt to the card surroundings. So here you can really see that pearl on this base. And if you notice, as I'm putting down the iridescent sequins, they look very different than the ones on to the right. So these are the two cards that I made. Very same stamping, same sentiment, but very different looks. And a card that's so simple that anybody, I think, would enjoy receiving, just to put a smile on their face. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Would love to have you part of the group. I think we have a good time here. Please, if you have any questions or if you'd like to leave a comment, please, I encourage you to do that below. I get back to you as soon as I can. So please, if I don't answer right away, I'm not ignoring you. It just takes me some time sometimes to get back to you. All the products that I used will be listed down below with links so that if you want to make that purchase, you can as well. Again, everyone, I hope you have a great day. I hope your weekend is going well. And remember, always be creative.